The macro environment has 6 different forces that influence it. The macro environment consists of larger societal forces that affect the entire microenvironment. The 6 forces making up the company's macro environment are demographic, economic, natural, technological, political and social, and the cultural forces. These forces shape opportunities and pose threats to the company. The main objective of a company is to make profits. In order to do that, a company needs to know the problem the consumer has. Every consumer has a problem, a need, want, or a demand that a company decides to serve, to address with their products or services. And this is called that the products and the services the company offers is represented at creating consumer value, right? So the company satisfies the problem or the need the consumer has. It wins them over as a customer because the person bought the product, and now the company obtains value from customers in return, so makes profit, the money that the customer paid for the product. In order to develop these efficient marketing strategies, every company needs to realize that they work in what is called a marketing environment. So remember that the companies need to operate in an environment and create relationships with the customers. First of all, to create relationships with the consumers, and once the consumers have bought from the company, they become customers. And companies want to build and maintain these relationships. And these two environments, the micro and the macro environments, represent the factors that influence the ability of the company to do exactly that. Remember that the marketing environment consists of 2 types of environment. There is the micro and the macro. I've created separated videos for each one of the environments. You can check them right here, you can check them in the links down in the description. And remember that the macro environment has 6 different forces. For every force you have a different video you can watch. The economic environment is the second force of the macro environment of marketing that we analyze. In order to understand it better, let's see the definition of it. The economic environment consists of factors that affect buying power and patterns. The economic environment is characterized by more frugal consumers who are seeking greater value, the combination of good quality and service at a fair price. So what this actually means is that marketeers also pay attention to how people spend and how they earn their money. And this is why, because they want to know what you can afford, how much you earn and how much you actually spend from what you earn, because they can target their products better for your budget. You already know that income and wealth comes in stages, so the marketeers identify them on 3 levels. Some countries have industrial economies which constitute rich markets for many different kinds of goods. In between, there are developing economies that can offer outstanding marketing opportunities for the right kinds of products. And in the lower extreme, there are the subsistence economies, where people consume most of their own agricultural industrial output and offer few market opportunities. Unfortunately, we have to realize that marketing is not necessarily about being empathetic with the people and supporting them and supporting their values. Marketing is a department within a company, and the company wants to make profits. So in order to do that, the company needs to sell, and they need to know what people can afford and what people used to buy, because they want, that is true, they want to solve the need of the customers, they want to solve the problem you have, but solve it with their product. And obviously you can imagine that the more money people have, the better the opportunities and possibilities. Well, if you go in a rural area where people eat what they grow in their own gardens, obviously it won't be very profitable to open a flea market right there, right? So it is also a considerant that is taken into account by entrepreneurs because they want to be profitable and not open any business anywhere without the need of it. In the same time, let me give you an example. David Neilman, who is the founder and former CEO of JetBlue Airways, is a native Brazilian. You may know or not, but Brazil is not really a top country for searching the rich. However, in the past decades, its economy grew and Brazil has a middle class of more than 100 million people. So what this guy did is to open an airways company to offer cheap flights named Azul Brazilian Airways. You may think that this idea is crazy, and I think that indeed it is, because offering flights at a cheap cost, he already had the model from JetBlue, right? And what he did is to allow people with low credit or no credit at all to buy the tickets, And one more thing, they could buy it in installments. Imagine that in Brazil, for that segment of area, it took 34 hours to go by bus from location A to location B, and with his airline service, you could get to your destination in 2 hours. And this is how this company got to be the third airway company in Brazil. And it's not always about the price to make a profit, it's also about how many services, the quantity of the products you sell to make the profit. So when we talk about the economic environment, we also look at two trends: the changes in consumer spending and the income distribution. The first trend looks at how people spend their money. Until 2008, the Great Recession, Americans used to spend their money freely because those economic times were fueled by income growth, a boom in the stock market, and significant increase in housing values. After 2009, people are buying less and looking for greater value in the things they buy. So they went back to adopting a back-to-basic sensibility in their spending patterns. So what marketeers right now have to do is to find the perfect combination of a fair price for a fair, good quality product. Paying attention to income distribution, over the last decades, rich have grown richer and the middle class has shrunk. The poor remained poor. The top 5% of Americans earners get over 22% of the country's gross income, and the top 20% earners capture 51% of all the income, and the top bottom 40% get just 11.5%. And don't think it's dramatical because, well, you know that many companies target the affluent, right? Selling the premium, the expensive products. But many companies target the middle class and the lower class income of population, because think about it, the dollar stores markets are now the biggest and the fastest growing trend in the United States. Ford, for example, is a company that tailors their marketing offers across a range of markets, from the affluent to the less affluent. They sell Ford Fiesta for $14,000, and they also have the Lincoln Navigator SUV that costs $56,000. Because the changes in income, the buying power, and also in the cost of living is changing and they affect the markets, marketeers need to look at this data and analyze it constantly, and they do that to what is called economic forecasting. Remember that the marketing environment consists of two types of environment. There is the micro and the macro. I've created separated videos for each one of the environments. You can check them right here, you can check them in the link down in the description. And remember that the macro environment has 6 different forces. For every force you have a different video you can watch in the links down in the description. This was everything for this video. I hope you understood what the macro environment is, all and every individual actor of the macro environment. Remember that you can watch every actor separately. There are links below in the description for that. And if you want, you can watch an entire at-length video about the entire marketing environment. Also, another way you may thank me for creating these videos is by buying me a coffee. I run on a lot of coffee to create these videos. First of all, to do the research for the information, then to film, to edit the videos, and to post them for you to watch for free. So if you feel like you can buy me a coffee, I would highly appreciate it. Another way is, of course, to hit the like button, to subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down in the comment section of this video, because you know how YouTube is nowadays. If there is no engagement, there is no promotion. So if this video helped you, I would highly appreciate your support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you at the next video.